Hello everyone, today I'll be showing you how to make this cute puffy bag. The materials you'll need is only the yarn, your hands, and a pair of scissors. First, we're gonna start with the loops facing down. You're gonna count 12 loops and then start from there for this pattern. If you want your bag to be bigger, you can just add more loops. Now we'll be bringing the yarn over to the top and the loops will be facing upwards. The way this yarn works is by inserting the loops inside of each other. Right here I'm just counting to make sure I have the right amount of the top stitches that I need for my bottom stitches. To start with our first loop, you are going to take the top loop and slide it through the bottom loop from the back. You can think of it almost as if we're creating an infinity shape. Here's another close-up. We'll be taking the top loop and sliding it from the back of the bottom loop to create an infinity shape. You'll be doing the same step for all of the loops until you reach to the end of the row. Now that we reach the end of the row, we'll be bringing the yarn over to start on row 2. Essentially, it's considered circular knitting where we just go round and round. Starting with row number 2, you'll be inserting the loop into the bottom loop to face downwards. Now that we're done with one side of our row, we'll be flipping the yarn over to do the other side of row number 2. So again, we're bringing the loop from the back to slide it inside the top loop to face upwards. Now that we reached the end of row number 2, we'll be doing the same step over and over again until we have 8 rows. Here you can start seeing the base or the bottom of the bag build up, and shortly we'll flip our work. Here I'm flipping the work to show you how it looks like from the inside. But now, since we have the base ready, we can start working on our bag facing this way. And again, we're just taking the loops from the bag and sliding them through upwards. Now this is how the bottom of your bag should look like when you reach row number 4. We'll continue with the same step until we reach row number 8 to start working on our strap. To make sure you've done 8 rows, you'll start counting the loops from the bottom to the top, and the free top loop will be considered as row number 8. Now we'll be closing with row number 8 by slipping the loops inside of each other from the top row. So as you can see here, I'm just taking the loop by the end of the yarn and slipping the one right next to it through. We should be left with one loop to start working on our strap. We are going to need 3 loops for our strap. So first we'll start by sliding this one loop left under the top row, and then we'll put that on our ring finger. Now the second loop can go right next to it and slip it right under to go on your middle finger. Now the third loop can go right next to it and slide it right onto your index finger. To start, we'll be topping the loops that are already on our fingers with only one loop, starting from the right to the left. As you can see, I'm just putting one loop over. Now I'm flipping my fingers to see the work, taking the bottom loop over the top loop and sliding it under. So the bottom loop over the top loop and just pull right under, bottom loop over the top loop. Now we have the yarn on the left side, so we will put one loop over again and do the same step for about 18 rows. Of course, if you want your strap to be longer, you'll just go ahead and make more rows. Now that we've reached the desired length for our strap, we'll take the loops off our fingers to slide them on the other side of the bag under the top row, just like we did for the other side. This is a close-up. We'll just be putting the 3 loops right under next to each other of row number 8. Now that we have them all under, we are just going to slip them through each other to reach the end of the yarn. You can use your pair of scissors here, but I just think it's very satisfying to pull it apart with your hands. So with the last loop left, you'll be pulling the yarn all the way through to secure that loop from slipping. We are considered almost done here. You are just going to break the loops apart with your scissors or your hands, so that way we can just tie it off and finish our bag. Right here, I'm just tying the yarn around a couple of loops to make sure it's fully tight and secure and won't unravel. Snipping off the last piece of yarn, and congratulations, you are done with your bag. Thank you guys for following along on this tutorial with me. Let me know which other tutorials you would like to have me post in the future. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys soon in another tutorial.